Have you ever played a game that could have been so good that it makes you mad? Like, all of the potential was there, but it just wasn't executed right and it leaves you feeling frustrated and maybe a little empty? That feeling is what inspired me to make this, my first game review video on Potion Permit, released on September 22nd, 2022 by an Indonesian developer by the name of Mass Hive Media. If you like this video and you want to hear me tear more games to absolute shreds, leave a like or a comment below. Potion Permit is a cute, cozy game that is hindered by limiting factors such as the stamina mechanic, linear exploration, and lack of autonomy. This game initially caught my attention with its charming pixel artwork, fluid animation, and cute plot, but despite the delightful cosmetic aspects of the game, it is severely lacking in substance. The game is too grindy, progression centers around farming and fetching materials, main quests, upgrades, and unlocking new areas all require increasing amounts of gold, wood, and stone. And if farming materials was stimulating or enjoyable, this wouldn't be too much of a downside. However, the areas made available to you are limited, your tools are weak, and the same enemies and forageables spawn in the exact same location every single day. This means you're constantly teleporting to the same sites to mash A to gather materials one day after another with no diversity or variation. If that wasn't bad enough, your stamina bar is easily depleted within 2 to 3 in-game hours, which means you'll have to stop farming mid-session to go heal at the bathhouse, which is closed on Thursday, use precious consumables, which provide negligible stamina restoration, or sleep until the next day. The daily grind will put you to sleep. Wake up, heal any patients, farm and forage until 9 a.m., work at the town hall, work at the police station, work on available side quests, farm and forage until nighttime or until your stamina runs out, all for the sake of unlocking the next area or upgrading your cauldron to craft a potion to progress, only to find that the novelty of the newly unlocked part of the map wears off extremely quickly, and you find yourself back in the same loop of farming for materials to get the next upgrade to get to the next area. This causes the player to feel like playing the game is a chore. Furthermore, healing patients and working part-time consist of laughably easy mini-games that do not scale in difficulty. There's nothing engaging or stimulating about the grind of this game, and it's unfortunate because I really wanted to like it. But nevertheless, let's continue. Aside from the core gameplay that asks very little of the player, there are several immersion issues that need to be looked at. Cutscenes are constantly displacing and relocating the player. Oh, were you running across the map for a reason? Because the game will have a random cutscene to play and end up teleporting you back to where you were. Being interrupted in general was irritating. You could be interrupted by a cutscene for a quest while on your way to fulfill another quest. I remember I was interrupted 3 times by side quests other than the one I was working on at one point, and I just had to laugh. The dialogue is repetitive and sometimes wouldn't match the context or location. For example, one time Jorn said something along the lines of, "Just wait till you see this tavern at night," when I had approached him on the bench in town as if he were at his post behind the tavern counter. Another big disappointment about the game was the lack of autonomy I felt with my character. You never get to decide how your character feels about a situation happening with the town. They just emote a smiley or frowny face for you. I missed the personability of unique dialogue options, and I didn't realize how empty games can feel without it. Now, I don't only have negative things to say about the game. I do think the plot is unique and interesting. The pixel art is aesthetically pleasing, and the animations have a weight to them that's very satisfying. The music is nice. It complements the ambience of the game very well and is generally pleasant, albeit repetitive. Combat is easy, but fun, and in fact I never died once. It's obvious here that the game isn't trying to challenge you, and once you realize this, I think it's easy to be a little less critical. But it's still fun to whack enemies in 3 hits. I love having my dog track the NPCs I'm looking for. It's such a quality of life mechanic that more games should employ. The fast travel points, while not an unheard of mechanic, were appreciated and convenient throughout gameplay. If I had to run back home every day, I think I'd go insane. And I did enjoy working the part-time shifts and healing patients, just not how brief and simple the minigames were. And in fact, I guess that leads me into my cons section. The plot is cute, but we don't get to develop our character. Who is the chemist? What's their backstory? Why are they the representative for the capital? There are no potion recipes for health or stamina regeneration. Additionally, there are health upgrades but no stamina upgrades. Fishing is boring and wastes time. Seriously, fishing in this game is on another level. Why does time continue to pass when I'm reeling one in? Come on, haven't they seen the other dozens of fishing games that have existed in this genre? Jeez. Why do I need gold, wood, and stone to purchase furniture? Just why? There's very few romanceable characters, one of them being Rue, who is the mayor's daughter and has the personality and depth of a school child. There's a tailor shop and wardrobe furniture to purchase, but no way to purchase non-starter clothes. All we can do is change the color of our shirt and cape. Lame. Repetitive dialogue sucks, and in the beginning you'll be met with words like hideous and leave me alone every time you try to talk to someone, which is a real bummer for a game that emphasizes friendships. To add a little insult to injury, the About section of the game promises weather variability on Steam. Yet this is nowhere to be found in the game. It's clear and sunny every day, so that's just, yeah. Do you ever meet someone who's really nice to look at, and you go out of your way to get to know them, only for you to realize they have nothing else going for them besides their looks? That's what it feels like to play Potion Permit. Is the game too simple, or is it just not for me? Would I recommend it to others? The bottom line is, it's a good game if you want to turn your brain off and press some buttons, but maybe not so good if you have any expectation beyond this. While this game didn't meet my expectations, and thus I didn't recommend it to other players in my Steam review, it could meet yours or anyone else's who just want a game where they can turn their brain off and whack lemongrass and bugs for a few hours. Trust me, I can understand anyone who wants to game but doesn't want to remember more than 3 controls, but I personally feel that Potion Permit has the framework to be way more than that. It has the potential to be placed among the classic titles of its genre, but its gameplay just doesn't feel developed or mature enough to go as far as some players, like me, want it to. The fact that this game is more expensive than Stardew Valley feels criminal. Playing over 30 hours of Potion Permit actually made me want to pay Concerned Ape more money for creating Stardew. The biggest update since the creation of this video has been the addition of the Grow Box, which looks like a simple gardening feature, along with some bug fixes in March of 2023. The Potion Permit and MassHive Twitter accounts are relatively active, but neither mention a future update, nor does the Steam news page. Potion Permit players will just have to wait until MassHive rolls out the next update, whenever that is. I also wanted to point out that MassHive's Twitter bio says, "Working" on Potion Permit, and they posted a tweet seeking job applicants, so I hope it's not a stretch to say that they will keep improving the game over time. At the end of the day, Potion Permit is MassHive Media's first title, and they do deserve credit for creating a wholesome experience. If the Potion Permit team can successfully roll out updates that make the game feel fresh and improved, then I won't say it's a lost cause. But until then, the hunt continues for the next best pixel game.